Okay, let's dive into this with a question that literally keeps entrepreneurs up at night. Why do incredible products fail every single day? It's a harsh reality. But building a great product, well, it simply isn't enough anymore. If you've ever watched a brilliant, world-changing innovation just gather dust while some totally mediocre competitor thrives, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A superior product doesn't just naturally sell itself. So over the next 7 minutes or so, we are going to assemble this machine together. We'll start with the foundation of winning sales, move on to attracting and building trust, then crafting the irresistible offer, and finally firing up the predictable sales machine. Let's get to work.
All right, phase 1, the foundation of winning sales. The source material completely shatters some conventional business myths here that might actually be holding your growth back.
Look, I know it feels totally unfair, but here's the truth. A groundbreaking product with poor marketing is going to get completely crushed by an average product with excellent marketing almost every single time. Think about it. If people don't know your product exists, or they don't understand why they desperately need it, they simply won't buy it. Visibility and crystal clear messaging will trump natural superiority, for sure.
And to get that messaging right, you need to know exactly who you are talking to. You have to absolutely obsess over your ideal customer profile. Because remember, people don't just buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. You need to uncover the hidden fears that actually stop them from pulling out their credit card, like maybe the fear of looking foolish or making a bad investment. And you've got to understand the true motivations driving them. Master these 4 psychological pillars, and your marketing suddenly becomes impossible to ignore.
So, with that rock-solid foundation set, we move to section 2, attracting and building trust. This is where we build the actual engine of our machine, focusing heavily on how we gather leads long before we ever ask for a single dime.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that the actual sale, it's step 4, not step 1. It's a lot like dating, honestly. You don't ask someone to marry you on the very first date. First, you've got to offer immense free value. Maybe that's a guide, a really good webinar, or a quick consultation. Second, capture their contact details. Third, educate them and build that trust. Only then, once you're at step 4, do you make the sales offer. The real money is always in this patient, structured follow-up.
In fact, I want you to burn this quote into your memory right now. Education increases trust, and trust increases sales. People buy from businesses they trust, and you build that trust by sharing incredibly useful information, demonstrating your deep expertise, and showing real-world case studies. When you genuinely educate your prospect, you're actually dismantling their objections before they even have a chance to vocalize them. It's a total game changer.
Okay, time to hit the gas. We're shifting to the accelerator of our machine, crafting the irresistible offer. Because the reality is, a lot of businesses out there think they have a sales problem, but what they actually have is an offer problem. To build a truly irresistible offer, you need to stack the deck entirely in the customer's favor. Your offer must solve a painful problem right away, and it needs to show clear, undeniable benefits. Crucially, it has to reduce their risk. Think of those crazy double-your-money-back guarantees, right? You should also include strategic bonuses to really tip the scales, and finally, create genuine urgency. Let me tell you, a compelling offer built on these exact components matters so much more than just having some naturally persuasive salesperson on your team.
And how exactly do you communicate that incredible offer? Through your copywriting. The absolute golden rule of copywriting is this. Amateurs write about product features, but professionals, we write about customer benefits. It is literally the difference between selling a 1 gigabyte MP3 player versus selling 1,000 songs in your pocket. Your audience cares infinitely more about how the product changes their life than what it technically is. Grab their attention, highlight the problem, and present your solution purely in terms of that life-changing benefit.
All right, we've built the engine, we've pressed the accelerator. Now we enter the final phase, the predictable sales machine. This is where we power up the entire system to ensure that predictable, repeatable revenue. The data here is pretty wild. It shows that a massive amount of money is just left sitting on the table simply because businesses give up way too early. Most customers need multiple interactions before they actually feel ready to buy. By implementing consistent follow-up, like automated email sequences and smart retargeting ads, you dramatically increase your conversions over time. Persistence isn't just a nice virtue here, it is a primary revenue driver.
But here's the catch. You can't improve what you don't measure. To keep an upward trending analytics dashboard, the source material emphasizes tracking key metrics religiously. You absolutely need to know your cost per lead to track efficiency, your customer acquisition cost to measure profitability, your return on ad spend, and of course, your lifetime value. Data, not guesses, and definitely not your gut feelings, must guide every single marketing decision you make from here on out. In this, brilliantly illustrates what it all leads to, the holy grail metric, customer lifetime value, or LTV. This is the total revenue increased by repeat purchases, upsells, cross-sells, and memberships over a customer's lifetime. A customer who buys repeatedly is exponentially more valuable than someone who just buys once and disappears. Repeat buyers are the true, sustainable fuel for any scaling business.
Which brings us to the number one. I really want you to fundamentally shift your mindset today. That first sale you make, it isn't the finish line. Not even close. It is simply day one of a highly profitable long-term relationship. You have to treat that first transaction as the starting gun, not the checkered flag.
So here is our fully constructed blueprint, the whole shebang. This is the repeatable system that generates sales consistently without relying on luck or just crossing your fingers for word of mouth. You systematically attract attention, you take the real time to build trust, you step in and present an irresistible offer, and then you retain and repeat to maximize that lifetime value. It's a complete, beautiful ecosystem of predictable growth.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. When you look at your own bottom line, you have a choice to make today. Will your business rely on chance, hope, and luck, or will you take control and build a predictable sales machine? The blueprint is right there in your hands.